Okay, hi Miss Novella. Today we wanted to show you a Suika game, which is basically just a game that it was like really popular online for a bit, and it's kind of died down a little bit now. We decided to work on this. So then yeah, we have all the fruits over here. So basically the idea is that it's just a random you get random fruits that I think that go up to apple, and then from there you just drop them and you try and combine them together, and you try and like get a watermelon before without going overboard, and I'll show you what that means. So you see the top over here. Once you reach the top, then you lose. So there's a score and the time. We just have a time over here on regular mode just to tell you how long it's been. So I guess I'm gonna try and get a watermelon right now.
Wait, they're so close. Okay,
Oh,
yo,
hey! We got it.
I'm in.
yo, it worked.
Okay. So hopefully I sped that up for you, Mr. Villo. You don't have to go through all those painstaking 8 minutes of that. But yes, we got the watermelon. Hey. Okay, that's pretty much all we have to show you. Okay. So
Uh-huh.
as you can see, the score increased drastic. Every single time I combined, the score increased. Um, yeah, it took me 8 minutes. Okay, now we go to small mode, so you can see that it's a lot less space. I'm not gonna spend another 8 minutes working on this, unfortunately, but you get the idea. Yes. And then the timer mode, my favorite one. You guys try and like combine as many as possible to get like the highest within 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm gonna speed this one up too, but you'll see what happens.
Hello.
Uh,
Hello.
Did it
it
save?
yeah, it's saved. Thank God. Okay,
We
so as you can see now, Mr. Bell, yes, this is what happens after 9 seconds. It just gives you the end. Okay, so Mr. Velo, we're gonna explain the code now, and instead of like starting with from game, we're gonna start from like the subclasses because you need all of these subclasses in order to explain the actual like important code in game. So we're gonna start with stopwatch, and I think we're gonna start with void add second. Like so in this method, it just adds ticks because it just repeats during the entire code. So then it just keeps on increasing ticks. And then from there we use it in minutes and seconds so that we just like divide by 45 because in the game code we have the frame rate set to 45. The default is 60, but we changed it to 45 because we felt that 60 was just too fast, and in some computers it wouldn't even be able to run at 60 because especially because I'm recording on this computer, it would lower it down to like 45. So we just felt that was okay. They felt that was the best. Okay, so I think we showed you earlier already, but when we go into a game, as you can see on the top right hand corner, there's a timer. So seconds we divide by 45, which is the frame rate, and just mod 60, so it would just increase every single second over here. and then with minutes, you basically just did 45 squared, I'm pretty sure. And when you divided that, you would get the minutes. So once it reached 60, it would reset back to 0, and then it would increase by 1 in the minutes.
Okay, this is the scoreboard class, which helps us keep track of the score. Basically, it's a box, as you can see here, right? Okay. The score is based off of this number system. You get 1 point when you merge two cherries, 3 points when you merge two grapes, or no, two strawberries, and so on. This is pulled from the game. I don't really know how it works, but that's how it is. Um, if we look here, here's a demonstration of the score counting up. Uh, and and if we
Yeah.
just we're supposed to get a watermelon. If we just keep okay, well, we did not get a watermelon, but yeah, the score did count up. And here, the final score is on the loose screen or the end screen. Here is the fruit class. The fruit class describes how each of the fruit will work. So here you see the variables that describe how the fruits blink, which is how the eyes move. And here are the attributes that help us determine how the fruits will move around. And yeah, so to load the images of the fruits, we're using SVGs, which are vector images, as opposed to JPEGs and PNGs, because the shapes here are easier to load. Yeah, and here we have some the constructors, which only takes in the X and Y positions as well as the determined type. So the type would be 0 for cherry, 1 for strawberry, 2 for grape, and so on. If we keep moving, we'll see that that each fruit has ability to move, which is as you would expect, just to move around. If we keep going, there's also bounce, which is whenever fruit hits either the sidewalls or the floor of the box, it will move. It will bounce off the wall and also lose some velocity in the process. Similarly, there's collide, um, which uses this formula to calculate the resulting velocity of a collision of two objects, and applies it to each of the fruit that are being collided. So yeah, and here the direction of the fruit is determined as being uh opposite to the point where they collide. Next we have merge, which is when two fruit of the same type, such as two strawberries or two apples or two pears, touch. And touching is determined by if they're if not determined here, but in the other part. But when they are of the same type, they will create a new fruit, and which will be a fruit of the upper tier. We also have apply force, which helps us calculate gravity, and blinking as well as mouth, which are the two components that help us display the faces on the fruit. So you can see here on the fruit, yeah. And yeah, these two parts come together in the display command, and that's and the display also takes account the rotation of the fruit, using the rotate and translate methods. And yeah, that's all the methods in fruit.
Okay, so this is the button class that makes the buttons in the game. So we have like a bunch of like variables here for like each of the shapes location. So like we have two separate constructors. because one of them will utilize like a P shape image that we imported, and then the other one is just like a regular shape by processing. So the difference is basically that this one just has like a length and a width instead of just like a size, which is like the radius. And this one is for like the P shape. And then we also have like separate like X and Y's for the text because it doesn't really line up if you make it the same as the X and Y of like the shape that we're using. And then over here for our click method, we make it so that if it's within like the bound. Wait, can you see that?
Huh? See what?
I know. Okay. So when you click it inside um the shape for when fill is active, fill basically is set true over here. So this class is the one for the shape drawn by processing. So if it's within these dimensions, then it'll make click true, and then same for the image with just size added to it. And for hover effect, this just makes hover true or not, and then like the same thing with the fill. And for our display, if hover is true, then it fills with hover color instead of the default color. And yeah, so we can like show it over here. So you see how like it changes color a little. And then when you go into the mode, it also changes color when you hover over it. Yeah.
Okay, so now we move on to the game class. We have start page set to true, but because as we can see, once you start up, this is the start screen, Suika game, you know. The layout we'll bring up later. So the setup, right? As earlier stated, right, the frame rate is 45, just like because like the game can lag a little bit, and like 45 just seems to just like happen to be like the perfect number. Um, After that, so we have draw, right? So if start page, which is true right now because it's set by default, it will show the start page. Uh, and then from there, like it creates this button, press the select mode. And yeah, if you click it, then it just brings you to a screen of all the different game modes you can play. So then, so if mode page, which is true right now because we pressed that, you have the regular mode, as we talked about earlier. So then when you click onto that, then you have the regular mode where you just play until you either get the watermelon or you lose. And then you have the timer mode, which after 90 seconds, it'll just end and it goes like it's basically just you just go until you get the highest score possible. And you're pretty much just like going against yourself here. And there's a small one, which is just because a smaller box. You know, so like it's just fast. It's just a lot harder and also just a lot faster if you guys going for like score. And there's also the exit button, which is the very top here. Just brings you back to the home page. Oh yeah, there's also the play again switch, which will pop up if I lose. So I'm just gonna. Oh wait, I was just trying to lose if I can. I'm trying here.
You can just go to small mode.
I could just go to small mode. You're right, but
This is not ending.
dude, come on. Okay, we will switch to small mode. Okay, yeah, as you can see now, it shows you the end screen, which better luck next time and like the score that you got, and don't lose again. So then there's a play again button where obviously if you press it, you can play again. You can choose a different mode. But yeah, so like if it's regular mode, then like as I said earlier, this I was gonna talk about this later with the delay. So earlier in the game we realized like in like creating the game we realized that like if you don't have this delay, then you can just spam left click and it'll just like I just put tons of fruits in the beginning and it'll also make it so that they'll eventually rise up and go over and you'll lose the game right away. So we need that delay to be there. Small mode over here, yeah, you can see that it just makes like the rectangles just smaller so you can have a smaller game to work with. Over here, it's just explaining like the gravity and like how like all the fruits like are meant to like move and like interact with one another. And timer mode over here, which just like it just changes a lot of the variables. It makes it so like if it takes over 45 for the frame rate. So basically, once it reaches 90, then it'll just end and they'll bring you to the end page with your the final score. Yeah.
Okay, so for fun, we also have some pictures from our development process. So on the left, you see that we don't have fruit yet, and all the fruit are just circles, and they look very upsetting. Um, this is actually how all the fruits work. They are treated as circles, but instead of displaying a circle, we show fruits like here. I can't play that, but it's supposed to be a video. Yeah, okay. Uh, Here we also see that during the process of developing rotation, this lemon started spinning out of control. Yeah, so that's fun. And lastly, we have this. This is cat game. We replaced the fruit of cats. Yeah. So it's all right. That's everything we have to share for our project, and I hope you had a good time watching us present it.
Arigato. Have a nice day.